Warning! This program contains strong adult language, violence, and brief nudity. It's everything you're looking for. Live from the Sims Tower in the Robinson Auto Group studio, we are AM 1600 WKKX.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Whispers Radio here on AM 1600 WKKX, the Valley's Watchdog, and UPRN, the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. It is 6:07, 58 degrees and sunny.
Yes?
I like it.
What are you smiling for?
Oh, because I like good weather.
It's going to be nice.
Is that bad that I smile when I say the weather?
No, I just wondered.
I should be a weatherman.
We were talking.
You think I'm pretty enough for that?
Local politics. And I thought perhaps that was the smirk on your face because...
See, I don't know
Dougie
much about
and I both kind of had one on ours, too.
I'm not too big on the local politics stuff.
Well, you know.
Well, that and I live in Bridgeport.
Now.
You know.
Don't you miss voting for wards and stuffs? I never lived anywhere where we had wards. Wards always brings to mind those smoke-filled, cigar-laden old boys networks like in Chicago where, you know, they're sitting behind closed doors making all these deals. That's what a ward boss does. You can tell I watched too many old movies over the weekend.
I reckon. Give us a call, 304-214-1600. If you're out of the area, 1-866-514-1600, and that's toll free. We don't use that line much. We'd like to hear from some of our listeners out there in, I don't want to say listener land, but I know, out from not just the Valley. We like to hear from everybody, from everywhere, because we love you. I'm Jordan Cline. She is Sarah Cline.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Jordo got married. Kinda. Well, not kinda, but we're still having our big ceremony, but we got a little bit. And then she is the lovely Lola. I hope everything's all right. She's got a disgruntled look on her face. Okay. A lot going on in the ghosty world. There seems, well, not just the ghosty world. UFOs. UFOs has been huge lately. I don't know if you pay attention, if you get on the right people, and on Facebook you can always get the latest and greatest UFO sighting, but there seems to be more and more and more and more UFO sightings out there. It's like every day I get a new message for one, and it makes you wonder, like, is there something to this whole 2012 thing? You know, not just it's the end of the world, but we've had so many people saying, it's a new beginning, a new age. The UFOs are coming back, you know? So it makes you wonder, like, are we more awake? Are we more in tuned? I don't know. We're not even having a 2012 show, I guess. I don't know if you heard, Lola, because I know you were on the phone, that we announced that we got hitched.
Oh, you did?
We did.
See, and I've been I have not said a word to anybody.
That's good.
You swore me to secrecy last week.
Well, he told his mom. He grew some and told his mom.
Speaking like a wife already.
I know.
That's what I had. That was the big thing. Hey,
Yeah.
Mom, I got married without you. You know, she was a little upset, but she's all right.
But she's very supportive of it.
Yeah, like I said, we're still doing our big ceremony in June.
Cool.
But yeah, we went Facebook official.
Wow, if you updated your status.
Yeah.
That's what
Whoa.
everybody's like. Whoa! That's too much to jump on us right now. You know, but.
Oh, and I could have been the bearer of glad tidings around here
Well, you
all
think
week, and I'm shocked.
You can still be the bearer of glad tidings.
We won't tell anybody.
Okay.
We won't tell anybody.
We won't tell anybody.
Steve might be the only one from the station listening right now because he's packing up from Quaker State.
True.
So it's you free reign. It's all you.
Okay.
Our guest today, Miss Sherri Brake. We love having her. Sherri, you with us?
Yes, I am. Hey, guys.
Hey. Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, hold on. Did somebody get married and they didn't call their own mother?
Yes.
Yeah.
He did. She did, yes.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm in shock.
Am I horrible? I mean, I didn't call you either, and you're like my paranormal mama.
I know, I am. I am your paranormal mama. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. That's such a big event.
Yeah, I know.
And they were so casual about it last Monday. They dropped the lug on me, and I wondered why. When I walked in, they're both looking like the Cheshire Cat, you know. And so then they're kind of dancing around it, and finally, in a sentence, in a paragraph, this gets dropped, and it's like, what?
Like, hey, by the way, we got married.
Yeah, that's about how they did it.
That's unbelievable. I'm so upset. I don't think I can even talk about anything paranormal. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Oh, Sherri. Yeah, that's how it is. I thought my mom was going to be really upset.
And she wasn't. She was very supportive of it.
Well, that's unconditional love.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you think she was going to do? Divorce you?
Well, listen, my sister has stepped down as my maid of honor.
Oh, my.
Because of this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'll step in.
That's right.
I'll back you up, Lola. I'm
Thanks,
available.
Cher. Because I told her, I said, this is what, aunts, we just accept, right?
Right.
So, okay.
Well, I'll come only if I can bring an EMF meter and a digital voice recorder.
Absolutely.
We did just buy a new church.
Because you just never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, there's something in your yard. Don't mind her.
Oh, my God.
Well, Sherri, tell us what's been going on with you. You just had a book come out.
Yeah, I did.
And I didn't get a phone call.
Oh, well, I was so busy writing the book and trying to get it out. I wanted to get, my idea was to write a book, one book every year. And in 2009, I had Haunted Stark County, Ohio come out. 2010 was the Haunted History of the Ohio State Reformatory. 2011 was the Haunted History of the West Virginia Pen. And do you know that it published on December 31st at about 8 o'clock at night? So talk about procrastinating, but I did it. I got it out there. And then I collapsed for about a month. Because it's such a huge book. It weighs over 2 pounds, and it's got
Wow.
618 pages.
Now, how are we supposed to read all that?
You're not. You're supposed to use your intuitive powers and figure out where the good spots are at and just go right to them.
As long as you talk about... Do you talk about me in the book?
I think I might.
Oh, there we go. See,
Yeah.
it's worth reading.
Seriously, now he'll read every page, and I hope you
I
would just...
know.
I know.
Just
Well, chapter 27 is a list of paranormal investigative groups and psychics and paranormal authors. So, of course, I had to list my friends in the back there. Hint, hint, wink, wink. So now you're going to have to get the book.
Oh, now I got to. Where can we buy it?
Well, you know what? Amazon's got it. Right now they have it on sale for $17.99. It usually goes for $24.99, so they've got a nice discount. And, of course, the West Virginia Penitentiary is going to carry it. And I'll have it at all my tours and events, Books A Million, different places like that. But, it's easy just to get online and order it anymore instead of trying to track it down because some bookstores carry it, some bookstores don't. And
For the nerd in me, is there a Kindle version?
not yet, but
Oh.
there will be. There will be this summer.
All right, I'm
See,
excited.
I believe in just picking up a real book made
I
out of
know.
paper and holding it in your hands
Yeah.
and reading it.
And you know what? With this book weighing over 2 pounds, you could kill a small rat with it.
Or a big dog.
You
Let's be honest here.
Or beat your teenager with it, or prop a door open. I mean,
It
it's a
has a
big book.
variety of uses.
It does, and
Yes.
it was such a thrill to write it. And I found some of the most interesting people. I interviewed over 100 investigators and psychics. So there's one huge chapter with all of their experiences and some photographs in it.
Wow.
And then I found this gentleman who was a inmate at the penitentiary when he was 18 years old, and he ended up escaping 3 times and was captured, those times and brought back to the prison. They released him, and he ended up becoming a pastor.
Really?
And he started his own church until this very day. He takes youth groups back to the penitentiary and takes them through and talks about the choices that he made, the bad choices that he made early on, and how he's turned his life around. But the gentleman was just absolutely amazing. His stories of tunneling out of North Hall,
Oh my!
tunneling out of North Hall to the outside, past underneath the wall, of course, those huge stone walls, and escaping. I mean, this guy, you talk about being dedicated. with wanting to
how
break
do you
through.
tunnel out of North Hall? Because that's the...
Well, I'll tell you what he did.
That's the high security area, isn't it?
It is. What he did, and you can see it when next time you go to the penitentiary.
Okay.
You can go back to his cell in North Hall, and there is you can tell where they welded a square piece of metal to the wall. It's not natural looking, and it's about the size of a legal pad. He actually took the back of a legal pad and took a piece of shank, which, is just a little spare piece of metal, of steel that they get out of the cell, or they, there's different ways that they can get a hold of weapons. And he sat and he scratched all the way around that legal pad for his shape. And every day he would work on that continually. And, of course, he covered it up when he wasn't working on it. But he was able to make a hole in that cell into the back part of the cell. The cell blocks are side by side. You've got a front part and a back part. Yeah. And in between there is a space, probably 3 foot wide, where the guards and the maintenance could go back in there, and they could work, and it was the plumbing and all that stuff. He actually he cut his way out of the cell, got down in there, and then was able to tunnel down into the ground, and then tunneled horizontal and got out. But he had to lose weight because he fit through an opening that was the size of a legal pad, and he collected butter. Everybody that was around him knew, or at least they thought, that this guy really loved butter, because he said, "Give me your butter packets, give me your butter packets." He would strip down naked, and he would rub his body with butter, and he was able to slide through that hole.
Oh, my gosh.
And to go into that cell and to see that piece that's been welded on there and know what he had to do, I mean, think of the mindset and the dedication. It's amazing.
Dedication or desperation?
It's both.
Yeah.
Because desperate people do desperate things.
All right, so that's one time that he got out. How did he get out the other 2 times?
Well, one time he was out on the yard, and he had actually made rope. He had made rope, and there were some other inmates that kind of knew what was going on, and they kind of distracted the guards, and he simply just threw this rope up, and he had made hooks. And he was able to climb up and over top without anybody seeing him.
Oh, my gosh. And
another time he escaped out through air conditioning ductwork. So, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And this guy made a DVD. This gentleman made a DVD about it. The Pen sells it. And there's a couple other places throughout the state that you're able to order it. So if you get a chance, go to the penitentiary and get it. It's absolutely amazing to see it. It's called Executive Clemency. And you can go to YouTube and watch a little promo for it, because he actually goes back to the prison and shows you how he did this.
Wow.
So it's amazing. But to talk to somebody like that and to find out some of the things that the convicts did on a day-to-day basis, how they entertained themselves, how they tried to keep themselves cool, because, there was no air conditioning, and how hot could North Hall get, without any air circulating. It was just absolutely fascinating, and he gave me about 2 hours' worth of information. He recorded it for me, and, of course, I had to make his own chapter, because, my gosh, it's just fantastic stuff.
I think the most interesting part, when you walk through those halls and you see everything, it doesn't click in your mind that it was only shut down in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Because it looks so old, so ancient, so, torturous.
and it, it was torturous. When it was built in 1866, they did the best they could. They quarried all that limestone locally, or the sandstone locally, and brought it in. It's just, it's huge. And they did barbaric torture methods on the inmates that were there. As a matter of fact, the Cincinnati Enquirer busted the penitentiary. They found out because one of the assistants to a superintendent kind of narked on everybody. And he quit his job, and he drew attention to all the mistreatment. They had torture devices like the kicking Jenny. And, they whipped people with whips, and then they would pass out, and they'd throw buckets of ice-cold water on them to revive them, and then they'd beat them again. And there were people that died and people that are buried in unmarked graves. And, you start reading some of this stuff, and it's like, oh, my goodness.
He was really a good-looking young man. I just pulled that clip up on YouTube.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, he was really good-looking.
Yeah.
Easy, Lola.
No, he looks like He looks like the kid next door.
Right.
Blonde-haired, probably blue eyes. You know, really, he looks like the kid. What did he go to prison for?
He went for robbery. Actually, he was down here in the Summersville area where I live at, and he robbed somebody. And then with one escape, he kidnapped a gentleman. And you're going to have to get the DVD to see the whole thing, because I've watched it several times, and it just amazes me each time, because we've all been there. We've seen that place. We've seen how thick those walls are, and to think that somebody could actually dig in the dirt and then remove your dirt and crawl as you go, and of course you had to have air holes. You had to have fans.
I'm so claustrophobic that even the thought of being in a space that small, like when you were talking about the air conditioning ducts, I can't breathe. I can't breathe just thinking about being in that. Oh, no.
Here's a guy I know. He let's see, he did his internship for the state police or some police department, but he did it in the pen. And he said while he was there that there was an escape attempt, and he said when they went through, the people had actually tunneled out, but when they actually went down to check it out, they had their own lighting system down there.
Yes, and it's interesting because the two people that did that tunnel, one was a coal miner and the other was an electrician. And they were cellmates, and I believe that's the last time they ever put an electrician in the same cell as a coal miner, because they ran lights, they had air system through there, and it's determination. I think probably the most famous person that escaped from the penitentiary, he had a nickname. He was called Fast Freddy, and he did it 13 times. And whenever he would get out and travel, he would send the warden postcards of where he had just been.
That was my dad's nickname. Had nothing to do with escaping prison. His had everything to do with too fast cars. But
so the book's been keeping me busy, and I just did a book signing at the penitentiary. I was up in your neck of the woods yesterday.
Oh, really?
I'm
so glad you called.
Yeah, that would have been Saturday. Sorry. Well, if I would have been invited to a wedding.
It was just a little tiny ceremony.
I know.
But we got our big one coming up in June. That's where people.
All right. I'll be watching.
All right.
But I've been busy with that, and of course we got tours going on this year. Just booked a date at the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum for September. And a lot of people are like, how come we can't do it in June or July? Well, it has 4 stories, and of course there's no air conditioning.
It is hot.
Yeah, it can get pretty muggy and pretty hot, and I'm not getting any younger. I don't want to sit in 120-degree weather indoors, and sweat all over the place while I'm trying to get some evidence.
I think during an investigation, I'd rather be chilly.
Yes, me too. You can always put more clothes on, I've learned.
Okay, so
you can take them off, but it all depends on who you're investigating with.
When are you going to start taking reservations for that?
Reservations will go on sale April 30th.
Okay.
And I already have it at the website. It's actually our most expensive event. Merely for the fact that it costs $6,000 to rent the building for one night.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. It's very pricey. Waverly Hills is another place that we've investigated, and they charged $4,000. So
they actually charge more than Waverly?
Yes, they do.
Wow.
Well, it's the second largest stone building in the world. So you've got the size, and it's impressive. 5 miles of hallways.
Yeah.
It goes on and on and on, and it's well worth it to do it. I love it. I never get bored. It's something different always happens. Some nights are more active than other nights, and we typically have the same people come back time and time again. Occasionally we'll have some newbies, and we just take them under our wing and try to give them a good heads up on the right kind of protocol, to make it a good investigation for everybody. And I'm to the point now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm to the point now I'm scaling back on a lot of my equipment. I'm getting tired of hauling stuff around, and it seems like I'm so busy trying to change batteries and work equipment that sometimes I miss out on the good stuff.
Or making sure everything's charged or plugged in.
Yeah, and I'm finding that it's just not worth carrying, 6 pieces of equipment and trying to use everything and get it set up. And
I tell you what, I used to just make sure I had enough people to where I didn't have to carry it all.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd just say, okay, here, you carry this camera.
Yeah.
You carry this camera.
Yeah.
But before I get into that, I got to ask you how much the tickets are.
Okay, reservations for September 22nd. It's a Saturday night. We start at 8 o'clock at night, and it goes until 5 a.m. in the morning. We are only doing 40 people. That's all. And we have complete run of the entire building. Typically, when they do their ghost hunts, they separate you into groups and keep you on each floor for a certain amount of time. I don't like to do that, and I don't operate like that. Waverly does that, too.
Yeah.
So we've got full run. And pizza, pop, coffee, chips. I love food, so it's out there for everybody. And it is $195 a person, which is steep. But last year we sold out 2 events at that price.
Really?
So, I got to go ahead and keep it at that price. And, of course, we have to buy special insurance. Trans-Allegheny requires that. And we just have to pass it along in the price of the spot.
Yeah, and it's understandable.
So, it is, but then again, I've got other events that I do. My walking tours are $15, and the Penn events are $80, and our Ohio State Reformatory events are $75. So it just depends on what we have to, what we have to pay to rent the building out.
Now, when are you going to Ohio State again?
Actually, my first event there is already sold out, and it's in June. The September event sold out, too. And
Wow.
November, I have 5 spots left in November 16th. So as you can see...
What about the Penn? What do we got going on?
The next event, the first event of the year, is Friday the 13th. It is sold out.
Wow.
June 30th, I've got 20 spots left. September 1st, I've got about 30, I believe. And I think November 2nd, I have 40. Those always sell out, so I don't really push them too much. And those are... $80 a person. And again...
Now, are these just all-night tours, or are these your ghost hunting classes?
No, those are all-night tours. I have no ghost hunting classes this year.
What?
I cut back my schedule, and I've got 2 more books coming out this year. I've got a book on dowsing, and I have a book on haunted locations in West Virginia. So I've got both those babies I've been working on, and I scaled back quite a lot this year.
Wow, that kind of makes me sad.
I'm sorry. I was sad, too, when I heard about a wedding.
You better stop trying to get any sympathy, Jordan, because it's not going to work.
It's not working, Betty.
Nope.
It's not working. But that's about it in a nutshell. I don't know about you guys, but it's even hard for me to sit down and watch some of the paranormal television anymore.
Oh, right?
Are you there? Are you there with me? You know what I mean?
Yep, I can't do it. I
can't even watch Paranormal State. Somebody had Paranormal State on the other day. I was like, can we just turn the TV off for a minute?
Yeah.
I used to be so on top of that. I knew every episode. I knew what episode was coming up. I knew where it was being shot. I knew where the cast was staying, the crew was staying. I was on top of everything. And the last 2 years, I just don't know. And there's an awful lot of people out there, a lot of investigators that are a little discontent, too. And it's television. They've got ratings that they've got to meet, but they're going to run out of places. And they're starting to stretch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Flooding the market.
Well, yeah, that's what makes... I'm not buying 90% of it anymore.
Yeah.
And the only one I like is Josh's show. And only because he's so funny, I just get a kick out of him.
Which one's that?
Yeah, okay. Josh.
That's not...
I'm lost. I'm thinking Josh.
Is it? Maybe it's not even...
Zach?
Yeah, no, not Ghost Adventures.
Jason?
No, that's Ghost Hunters. The one where they usually split the hour up. One is a ghost hunt. One is for some monster or something.
Monster, no.
Oh, yeah.
It's on...
that's good. I think that's on... Is that Travel Channel? Or maybe?
I think it's Travel.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I do like the Bigfoot stuff that's out there, too.
Truth, Destination Truth. That's what it is. Destination Truth.
Now, are you a Bigfoot follower now, Sherri?
Well, since I moved to the hills of southern West Virginia, being a Buckeye from the flatland of Ohio, I've heard some intriguing sounds in the woods. Let's just put it at that. And I've always been intrigued with Bigfoot, but that is something that I need to see for myself. It's kind of like the UFOs. Sure, I'm open-minded, but I'd love to see one.
Did you watch the Bigfoot Hunters or whatever that show was?
Yes, I did. I think the last one I watched was when they were in Salt Fork State Park, which is in south central Ohio.
Yeah, that's not too far from here.
That's like Bigfoot territory.
Yeah. I watched the first episode and I was like, oh, geez. They're like, there's a Squatch in these woods.
I know.
Like, gosh.
But you know what? Like I said, there's some sounds out there that just make the hair stand up on your arms. And talking to people that have lived down here their entire life, it's well known that people occasionally see some type of an animal like that. I don't know about being out in the woods and camping and meeting one face to face, but I wouldn't mind being in a vehicle and seeing one from a main road.
Yeah, really. Yeah, that's about as close as I want to come to one. I can tell you. Huh.
But yeah, that's the rage right now because I think they're tapping out the ghost market. Yeah. And now it's going to be. We'll probably have a show on El Chupacabra, at the end of the year, and who knows what next year? Probably a Mothman, series.
Oh, one can only dream.
And then I don't know what else. Maybe Loch Ness or something. In search of Loch Ness, in search of Nessie.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I think they are. They're stretching it all way too thin. How many ghosty shows are out there now?
Oh, my God.
It's unbelievable.
I don't know. Probably 10, 15 maybe.
At least.
Touch on it.
Because now you've got that antique guy that goes around and finds the antiques that come from a haunted something or something, and he takes them home with him, and I'm thinking, why? Why would you do that?
John Zaffis, yeah, and I don't know. Everybody's got their own thing that they like and that they are passionate about, and that's cool. But good ratings. You have to have good ratings to keep the show going. So you can't just sit and watch something for an hour and not have anything happen. Because nobody's going to tune back in next week. So we shall see. But the number of ghost hunting groups is starting to decrease. It was growing crazy there the last 3-4 years, and it tapered off, and now we're dropping down. I know Ohio at one time had over 300 organized ghost hunting groups, and it's dropped down to I think 270, 280, something like that. So, people are finding that it's for the most part it's getting to be an expensive hobby because prices just keep going up. Yeah. Things that you could buy 15 years ago to investigate with are now triple their price just because the manufacturers are seeing that ghost hunters are buying these pieces of equipment and they're jacking it up, and
like the gauze meters and
things like that. Stuff's gone up in price. Of course, your gas price has gone up, so people are traveling a little bit less, and hotel prices, and everything just continues to climb. Sometimes it's best just to hang around in your own town and find historic places to go to.
Well, there's plenty here.
Oh yeah,
Wheeling is full. It is history.
Wheeling is packed. As a matter of fact, yesterday we took a leisurely drive. We left Moundsville and drove along Route 2 and followed it to Parkersburg. So we went through the little towns like Raven Rock and Sistersville and all those places along the river.
Did you stop at Point Pleasant?
No, we didn't go that far. We actually stopped at Parkersburg and then headed to Charleston. So we didn't make it across the state. But I am doing an event over there Point Pleasant Way in September. I'm I'm right across the river in Gallipolis, Ohio. I'm doing a Haunted Ohio and Haunted West Virginia event at the library, which will be a blast. It's a PowerPoint slideshow of all kinds of haunted locations throughout the River Valley and both states, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Wow.
Yep, I'll have
you got a lot of events going on.
Well, no, I scaled back. So
you used to have a whole lot then.
Yeah, then I got old.
Isn't it awful? It's awful. It's just awful.
Well, before I was averaging between 130 and 150 ghost events a year.
Wow.
And I was on the road a lot. I mean, a lot. And then, of course, moving to West Virginia, the pace is a little bit slower. And I'm starting to, settle down a little bit, so I'm not traveling quite as much, but I still love to do the investigations. And it's always cool to see the regulars who keep coming back on the Haunted Heartland Tours events.
So how many events do you have altogether this year?
I'm not sure. I think maybe 25 or 30.
Wow, you did cut back.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, plus we're building a house. We were supposed to start last fall, and things got away from us, so we're going to be doing that this year, and I better be home.
Yeah. Hey, Sherri, if you want to hold on just a second, we got to take a break.
Sure.
It'll just be a few minutes. You're listening to Whispers Radio. Our guest, Miss Sherri Brake. We're talking all kinds of ghosty stuff. I think when we come back, I want to get into some ghost hunting basics from the teacher. And since she's skipping out on some, we won't let her. Give us a call, 304-214-1600, 1-866-514-1600. We'll be right back.
Pulling out at first dawn's light.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Whispers Radio here on AM 1600 WKKX, the Valley's Watchdog, and UPRN, the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. Give us a call, 304-214-1600, out of the area, toll free, 1-866-514-1600. Our guest, Miss Sherri Brake.
Hello.
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 She's the director of Haunted Heartland Tours at hauntedhistory.net.
I introduced myself to somebody the other day, and instead of Haunted Heartland Tours, I said Haunted Whores.
Wow, that leaves it really open to lots of possibilities.
We have a lot of customers.
Yes, he seemed very interested at that point.
All right, since you're skipping out on all of your famous Ghost Hunting 101 classes that Nick and I got into back...
Way back.
Jeez, way back in the way back.
Yeah, I think that was 2006. Does that sound right to you guys?
Wow. That's
2007, maybe at the very latest. It was either 6 or 7. I'll have to go back and.
Long time ago.
Yes, and look at you now.
Hey,
I'm
listen,
so
do you still give out bumper stickers?
I sure do.
I want to get one from you.
I got some crazy ones now because I lay awake at night and think up crazy things like got ecto.
Really?
It's like, who is it? What's ecto? Well, it's ectomist, ectoplasm, what happens at the pen stays at the pen,
Are they all on your website?
No, I usually take them with me when we do the tours.
Oh, really?
But so you guys will have to come and see me, or I'll have to come and visit you in the studio.
You're going to have to. Let us know when you're here. We got a phone call real quick, Sherri.
Okay.
Who we got, Lola?
Okay, this is Tammy.
Hi, Tammy.
Tammy.
Hello. I heard you mention that you had traveled down Route 2.
Yes.
And had gone through different small towns. I wondered if you noticed the facility in St. Mary's, West Virginia,
Okay.
which is now a prison to the elderly and terminally ill. It was once called Cullen Anderson Center.
I think I remember coming past. I was in the back seat while the guys were driving, so I was sightseeing. I think I did see that. Does that actually still have barbed wire around it?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And it was a facility for mentally and physically challenged adults. I'm not sure when it was built, but I worked there in the early 90s, and there were lots of stories that floated around, of course, because it had been there for quite some time. And when individuals were institutionalized, in the 50s and 60s, there were certain things that were done. But I just wondered if you happen to know anything about it, or if you've researched any of the history of that.
That was the first time that I had seen that, and it piqued my interest when I went past. So I'm definitely going to be digging into that because that sounds like something I might want to cover. I have a monthly column that I write every month, and it's on West Virginia's haunted history and folklore. So I'm always looking to find new subjects to learn about and to write about. So that'll definitely be something I'll be writing about in the future, probably later on this year. But you can read those articles if you go to a website. It's called twolaneliving.com. They have my articles there that you can read online, and you can actually I post them on my Facebook page, so you'll be able to read. But thank you for the tip-off. I did see that.
Where can she get up with you, Sherri, so that she can at least give you a little information on where to find that?
She can email me right through my website at hauntedhistory.net. My email address is right on the front page there. It's Sherri at hauntedhistory.net. So you'll be able to just go right to the website. And please email me, and I'll email you back all the stuff that I find out about it. But I will definitely do an article on it.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for your call, Tammy.
Bye-bye.
All right.
What's the name of that place?
It's right in St. Mary's. It is across the street from, I'm trying to think of what it's close to, because I saw it. Of course, you got the Ohio River on one side, and you're driving on the road, and then, of course, on the left-hand side there is the facility. You can't miss it because it's got a huge barbed wire fence, and you automatically think, oh, my gosh, this is intriguing. Because, I've written books on prisons. Of course I'm going to say, stop the car.
Yeah.
But it looked like it was an active prison, so we didn't pull into the parking lot or anything. But I'm glad she mentioned that. I'm sure if you did search for St. Mary's and put in, I guess it would be psychological center, something like that, or state hospital, or
something along those lines.
Something along those lines. It would surely pop up. But yeah, very cool. Very cool. I love finding those out-of-the-way places. There's always some type of dark history. You just got to dig. You got to dig, you got to research, you got to talk to people, and just like she said, with being a past employee, they've always got great stories.
Now, do we got another phone call? Oh, okay. Now, when you're going out, because you say you take your equipment down, tell us because you're getting out of the investigations this. Oh, hold on.
It's the Colin Anderson Center.
Okie doke. I'm writing that down too.
The Collarland. Colin Anderson Center.
Yes.
Anderson Center. Okay. Everybody's going to be Googling that at the same time.
Yes.
It's going to crash the site.
I'd use my phone, but I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out.
All right. Now, no more stalling. I want to hear some ghost hunting 101 for our newbies out there that might want to be started out, want to get into it. People who are wondering what orbs are, because I get all kinds of emails for that.
Yeah.
So enlighten us,
okay.
Oh teacher.
Oh teacher, oh great one, right?
oh teacher, my teacher.
All right. Let's start off. Let me tell you, I've been doing investigations, documented investigations, for 27 years. And I have changed my methods throughout the years. And any good investigator is going to change their methods throughout the years. You have to experiment. You have to find what's comfortable for you. Some people prefer just to use their own psychic ability or intuitive ability and a camera. Other people like to go out and come in with the headgear and the digital voice recorders and all kinds of meters and strobes and whatnot. And they look like they're a SWAT. They're coming, out of a SWAT tactical team or something. Get equipment and learn your equipment. That's very, very important. If you just want to get a camera and investigate with a camera, know that camera inside and out, and always, always, always bring lots of batteries, because as you guys know, anytime that there's any type of paranormal presence around or some type of energy, it can drain your batteries. And what was fully charged 5 minutes ago will be completely drained. Always pack extra batteries. Always bring extra storage cards. Some people like to actually bring their laptop and look through their photographs that night. And I don't really suggest that. You're going to want to wait till you're fully awake, to go through your material. Plus, you could be missing something that's going on out there.
Yeah.
So I would wait until the next day or a couple days later to review your evidence. Know your equipment, though. I don't know how many times I've tried to help people on a bus, if we're going to a haunted location or in the basement of an asylum. They're like, hey, we just bought this today, and they give you the book, and it's like 100 pages thick. And they're like, could you tell us how to change files? And you're like, oh, my God. So know your equipment, be able to operate it in the dark.
Now, here's one, too. What is because not everybody can go out there and spend all that money getting equipment. Mm-hmm. What is something that they can do with stuff they have at home that they can investigate with?
Simple things that you can get that you probably have already laying around, of course, is a camera. I have people that spend thousands and thousands of dollars on very, very nice digital, high-quality cameras, and I have other people that swear by the throwaways. Get people that come time and time again that use these throwaway cameras and say they get the best evidence on them. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you can get evidence on any type of camera. Keep the lens clean. And like I said before, make it a model that you know everything about, so you're not fumbling around in the dark.
Yeah.
Almost everybody has a camera. Yes, you can use your cell phone camera, but the quality is going to be terrible. It's not the best ghost hunting equipment to use as far as cameras. Tape recorders. You can use the old-fashioned cassette kind, or you can use the digital voice recorders. If you use the old-fashioned cassette kind, always make sure that you have fresh cassettes, because if you use the same cassette over and over and over again, eventually you're going to get bleed through, which means that you're going to hear past investigations on top of your current taping. So always have extra cassettes. If you have a DVR, know how to use it and know how to flip through the files. Another piece of equipment is a compass.
Yeah, we've heard that.
Yeah, the old-fashioned compass. If there's a disturbance in the electromagnetic field around an investigator, and plain speak, if there's a presence, spirit, energy, ghost, whatever you want to call the entity, it can make the needle of the compass actually shift a little bit. The only drawback to using a compass is you have to sit and hold it still and keep looking at it continually. So there is a little bit of drawback. But say, for instance, you're going to be sitting at a table in a haunted tavern somewhere doing an investigation after hours, and you're going to be there for a while, you can sit there and actually look at it. Another piece of equipment that you could use, you could make your own set of dowsing rods out of a couple of clothes hangers.
Now, I know, was it the advanced classes that we had? You had us doing investigations with like a...
With a dowsing rod.
It was dowsing rods and like a rock on a string.
Correct. Yeah, you can use the pendulum as well. You don't have to buy a pendulum with a chain on it. You can use a necklace. So there's different ways that you can do dowsing or divining. If you use clothes hangers, you're going to need 2 clothes hangers. You cut them and you make the letter L out of each clothes hanger, and you hold them in your hand like a couple of pistols.
Like a clothes hanging cowboy.
Like a clothes hanging cowboy, right. And there's lots of articles out there on how to douse, and I'll have a book coming out later this year on dowsing. So those are just, some simple pieces of things you got laying around. Ghost hunting equipment, some of it is pretty cheap to buy. There's a company out of Albany, New York, and they're online. The address is LessEmf.com. LessEmf.com. And they sell Ghostmasters, which are electromagnetic energy detectors, for about $35. So you really don't have too much money. That's a good, nice midpoint range.
Now, what do you think about the K2?
Yeah, I got one. The one
one
investment I made was a K2.
So, it's so super sensitive. If you have the model that you actually have to push down with your finger, if you vary with the amount of pressure, you're going to get different types of readings. So I'd be cautious with that and make sure that you have a newer model.
Yeah, I do. You don't have to hold mine.
Yeah, that's good.
Because other people are saying, well, you got to stick a dime in it.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. And
yeah, there was a ghost tour in Florida that used to hand those out, and people were, of course, finding ghosts all the time because you're holding your finger down on it, and if you let up the slightest amount and push back down, even without knowing that you're changing the sensitivity, you get all kinds of lights that go off, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's something right here in front of me.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. I think too much equipment really takes away from the experience.
Well, because that's all you're doing is, I know with me, that's all I'm doing is messing with this stuff.
And having an experience when you're investigating is right brain and left brain. I mean, you don't focus so much on the technical aspect of things, but sit there and be, I hate to sound new age mumbo jumbo, but be in the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Watch, feel. Am I getting goosebumps? Is the hair standing up on the back of my neck? Did I just think I saw something? If you're busy looking at your dials and your monitors and your gauges and you got headphones on and everything else, you just lose track of the whole thing. And I think we're over
technicalized.
Yeah, whatever the word is.
Yeah.
Over technicalizing it.
Yeah.
I think my favorite to go out with is just a camera and a real simple digital recorder.
Yep. Yeah.
Video camera, I've never gotten anything on it, and it's such a pain in the butt. If you have 3 cameras and you're there for 5 hours,
Yeah.
you know, that's 15 hours of video that you're just staring at a hallway or standing at the corner or staring at the corner of a house or
Right.
I mean, and you're just watching that for 15 hours.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I know. I feel your pain, believe me. I did an investigation at my sister's house. She bought a house a few years ago, and the real estate agent told her it was haunted. She said, you know, by law, I have to tell you this, and it's in Tucker County, West Virginia. And my sister's like, oh, well, I know people. You know, I've got somebody that can handle that.
I got peeps, yeah.
Yeah, I got friends. I got family that can handle that. And first night I went down there and spent the night in this old Victorian house, and she kept telling me that all the activity was down this one hallway on the second story. So I set my camera up there and, you know, let the film run for a couple hours. And the next morning, you know, we pop it in there, and we're watching it on our big TV set, and we're watching and watching and watching, and all of a sudden we see their cat walk down the hallway, and this cat is so heavy that it causes the floorboards to squeak.
Jeez, that sounds like
they,
my zoo.
Yeah,
honestly, my house squeaks all the time, and it's because my fat cat's running around.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing they'd been hearing is,
yeah.
you know, footsteps, or it sounded like somebody was walking, among other things. I mean, besides the old man that would stand at the foot of the bed and watch you sleep.
Yeah.
You know, that old chestnut.
Oh, my goodness. So,
did you get that on camera?
No, I didn't.
Of course not.
No, of course it was sitting in the hallway.
Yeah.
Watching the cat.
And it's really funny, like if it's somewhere where there might be bugs or something, the one time a bug flies across the screen, your heart skips a beat and you get all excited and your central nervous system's...
Okay, now I've got a question. If you had a digital recorder that was voice activated, would an EVP set that off, or does it have to be actually like our range?
That's a good question, and I'll tell you what, I do not like to use the voice activation, because sometimes with the voice activation, you cut off the first second or two of any vocalization or any sound. For instance, you might just only catch half of the EVP. So I would not use the voice activation.
Okay, I just wondered if they're, I don't even know what they're, like, not sonic, I don't know what, that wavelength, if it would actually even trigger one that's set up.
It can.
Okay.
Yes, it can. But you're going to chop off. You're going to chop
Part
off
of
the
it.
first part of that EVP. That's why I always tell people, you know, if you're doing an EVP session, if you're trying to collect electronic voice phenomena, you know, and those are voices that we can't hear with our ears.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do that and you're asking questions and you've got your DVR or your tape recorder turned on, you need to pause after every question. You just can't sit there and rattle off, you know, 20 questions. You have to ask, you know, what is your name? And then you got to wait a good 15 seconds because you want to be able to hear that reply.
Yeah.
It's funny, we had somebody on the show one time pretty much explaining that, and he called it his own method. And it was revolutionary. I was like, that's how Sherri trained us.
No, that's oh my gosh, that's been going on for quite a while.
I think that's how it goes. Like, you didn't really invent that.
EVP kind of came out. I mean, it kind of went out into the mainstream back in the 1950s. And, you know, people started recording things back then.
Well, didn't Edison, like, that's the whole reason he invented the telephone?
Well, not exactly that. This was like his last invention he was working on before he died. It was a spirit communicator. He believed that he could capture ghost voices or spirit voices because he believed that they were energy. So supposedly he was working on this device, although plans have never been found, and they've never found the actual spirit communicator. It's just one of those facts that some of his colleagues knew that he was working on on something like that. So it's been around since the 1950s, and of course it's gotten extremely popular over the last probably 7 or 8 years, but it's nothing new. As a matter of fact, the guy that discovered EVP actually did it on a reel-to-reel player. I don't know if you guys are young enough to remember what reel-to-reels look
Thank
like.
you, Sherri. I love you.
But I do, because my dad had one.
Yeah, I do too.
And this guy, he was Swedish, and he was a ornithologist. He recorded bird songs, and he took his reel-to-reel tape out into the woods, set up his equipment, and he was going to record bird songs. And when he got back and he played everything over to listen to the bird sounds, not only did he hear birds, but he also heard his dead grandmother speaking to him and other sounds. And he basically said, you know what, forget bird songs. I'm going to concentrate on these voices because he was out in the middle of nowhere.
Who cares about the birds? Listen to this.
It's Grammy. It's Grammy.
And he gave it the name electronic voice phenomena and dedicated the rest of his life to studying it. And it's pretty fascinating. It's one of those aspects of investigating that you might not believe in until you actually capture something.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it will it'll just reel you right in because you're like, wait a minute, I know I was all by myself. How did I get that man's voice? Or how did I, hear that woman call my name? I'm all alone.
Yeah.
And it's not exactly something I'd want to do.
Lola's waiting for that time.
I am.
I wouldn't suggest to people just starting out to do it in your own home because it freaks a lot of people out.
Or ever. Ever would be good. I never want to do that in my home.
So
I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Sherri, we are out of time. What is the name of your new book?
It is The Haunted History of the West Virginia Penitentiary.
And it's on Amazon.
It is.
And go get it, everybody. Her website is hauntedhistory.net, and she runs Haunted Heartland tours.
Thank you for not saying haunted horrors.
And she runs Haunted... No.
When she moves down to New Orleans, we really could change things then.
Although that might increase my web traffic.
True.
There we go. Just register the website and just link it.
There you go. Right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you very
Sherri.
much for coming on. We love talking to you, and it was too long in
See
between.
you at the wedding, at the other wedding.
Oh, yes.
At the formal wedding.
Keep me in mind.
Yes.
All right. See ya.
All right. Take care, guys.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
We are out of time, everybody. Until next week. Don't be afraid. Only believe.